Hey guys, this is Market Update. It's going to be a big week. Maybe. We don't really know, right? So the Clarity Act may go to the Senate floor in the US for a vote or not. We don't really know. So we're going to find out whether these politicians actually want to legislate some consumer protections or whether they're just using this thing as a political football. We do need it, right? Bitcoin doesn't need this legislation, but Bitcoin and the industry does. We need this to go through. We need a positive event and everyone can relax and say, okay, we can build and we can move on. Also, Bitcoin's $1 trillion market cap. And the people that buy Bitcoin directly, those people have been served, right? The next money coming in is not those people. It's institutions, it's credit markets, it's sovereign wealth funds, it's states, pension funds and everything putting this in. And they're just not going to move until all of this is done and out of the way and legislated. And so it is big because that's the fresh money that's going to come in. You need fresh money to push you into a bull market. Right, and talking about bull and bear markets, this is the shallowest drawdown we've ever had right now. Now, it can get worse, of course, but a lot of bad things have happened. And are those bad things that happened going to get extremely worse? I would say that the probability of those getting extremely worse is maybe lower than kind of status quo, like, similar to right now. We don't know. But of course, trading anything in the short term is binary. As an investor, you're looking at a bear market. Bitcoin's near its 200-week moving average. It's a great time to add an asset that you like. Now, do we have a longer period for this bull market to go? You can see the previous bear market, You can see the previous bear markets down here, all bottoming around day 400. It's quite insane how they all bottom around the same time. Do we just have a longer period to go where we drop further and, maybe another 100 days or so? It's possible. If Clarity goes through, maybe people just turn to the market again and start bidding again. In any case, it really hasn't been much of a disaster so far. So the average US Bitcoin ETF buyer is down 22%, which is nothing, right? That's just normal volatility for anything. Previous bull markets, people would buy in. A bull market is where new participants come in, new money comes in, and they want to buy coins from other people. So you've got to up the price. That's what the ETF buyers did this cycle. They were the new buyers. And they're only down 22% on average. I mean, you'd be down minus 50, minus 80% in previous bear markets. So it's really not a big disaster, right? It's not a big disaster. It's shallower than previous bear markets, right? Now, of course, we can go through this support zone and get way worse. Clarity doesn't go through, macro turns bad. It's possible. But when the price is around the 200 week, then those bad events start to become less relevant because you're saying, well, yes, they can knock the price, but the price is already relatively quite attractive in relation to the trend, right? And you can feel some buyers stepping in for sure. And this is not a bear market rally. So these two rallies here, big, short, sharp rallies to the upside, 20%, and this one was 30%. They're short covering rallies in a bear market. That's how it goes, right? Short covering, right? Getting out. You would be like crazy to short Bitcoin at its 200 week. Crazy. Because every single time that Bitcoin's been near its 200 week before, it rallies into like 10x bull markets, 10x, 5x. As a technicals trader and a probabilities trader, you would not short the 200 week in an asset that has like a 30+% growth rate, right? That's just not a trade you would take. So this is decent, but of course, short-term clarity, macro, again, trading short-term outcomes is usually binary. But this price is an attractive price in relation to the trend for investors, right? I think everyone knows that. So if you do trade Bitcoin, crypto, or TradFi assets, anything, you can trade them all on Bybit now. And if you're new to Bybit, click the link in the description when you sign up. Make a deposit. They'll give you a deposit bonus to trade with. Anything you deposit, they'll give you a bonus all the way up to $30,000. The next new money to come into Bitcoin is not you and me, right? The amount of individuals that have discovered Bitcoin and want to buy it directly, that's maxed out, right? And so the next new money coming in is real big money, right? Pension funds, insurance companies, investment companies, annuities, states, etc. And not just buying Bitcoin, but buying credit on top because that gets a yield in the dollars that are their liability. And it just gets into all of these funds a little bit. That's the new money that has to come in. That is going to take time and we need patience because that money doesn't move fast. They need the market to season. What are strategy doing? Buying the top and selling the bottom, right? It looks ridiculous. But what they're trying to do is season their company so they get in the S&P. Because as soon as you're in the S&P, then people start to take you seriously. And if you can prove that buying and selling and the capital markets activities actually work in bull and bear markets, maybe your debt gets moved up to, B or A grade even, right, instead of junk, which no one's going to buy seriously, right, real money. So it just takes time and patience. And of course, individual investors, we don't have patience, right? But it's the way it goes. You need a long-term strategy here with Bitcoin, because the money that flows in to move us to 2, 5, 10 trillion, it's not individuals trying to buy coffee and scanning QR codes, right? It's just not going to drive us anywhere anymore, right? So what we know though is that you can't be in fiat currency. You have to be in assets, right? So a stock index, your house, land, anything, Bitcoin, anything other than fiat currency. Fiat currency is literally designed to debase itself, right? That's what it does. It's the weapon of the state, where the state can take the resources of the economy and spend it without your permission. And so that's what it is. And it will never, ever go down in the amount of nominal units, right? Because the Bank of England was created when the king had to go to war. They didn't have any money, and they weren't going to get money from other people to go to war. So they had to print the currency first to buy the weapons that they wanted, which debased the currency and took money from people's pockets without them knowing. That's what currency is for. As a state, you sell goods and services in your currency because those other countries have to then exchange in your currency and hold your currency, and you can debase it and manipulate those other nations. It's a weapon of war against enemies, and it can be used with allies, potentially, like the US and Japan this week. You and me, working and saving, we know we can't be in this stuff. US national debt, since the ceiling was raised, goes up and up and up. That's because it's paper. Now, the Bank of England, when they created currency, you could pay that back with gold. Well, you can't do that anymore. It's completely untethered. So if you have a liability in dollars, the only way you get dollars is by them being printed. The banks have to create new dollars so that they come into the market so you can earn those dollars. That's paper. So the only way to pay back your paper is when new paper is created. But that new paper gets created with an interest rate, so those people are on the hook as well for even more paper. And it doesn't work, does it? We know that doesn't work, and those banking systems always fail, because the amount of paper has to exponentially go higher, whereas the price of goods and services, if they're coming more abundant, actually goes down. It just doesn't work. So the central bank steps in and just prints it. You're having to print paper. The only way to pay off the paper is to print more paper. You can't ever actually reduce the amount of paper, because everyone needs the paper to pay off their debts, right? But they can't actually pay off the debts because the new paper gets printed for them to have so that they pay off the debts. And you can't just reduce the debts, because if you reduce the debts, you have no paper left. You have no currency left. So if you have no currency, what do? You we don't have any currency left. So you can't do that. This cannot go down. Physically impossible. The debt has to go up because the debt is the currency. So the amount of paper in the system has to increase. No one can stop this. It is impossible. The system cannot go down. It is not designed for that. So all of this discussion about we're going to reduce our national debt, everything else, well, the only way you would do that is if you stop creating the debt from the actual government, and then the paper just gets printed from the central bank and just goes out into the economy. But we've seen what happens. Assets go through the roof. Of course they do, because you're debasing the paper. So there's no way that the amount of nominal units actually goes down. The only way it actually does is when you have a war, and then you lose, and then you just reset and create a brand new currency from zero. But then you just start this cycle over again, and this happens. That's why we have to be in assets. Is what happened this week in Japan yield curve control? I don't think so, but it's currency manipulation. And that's why we don't hold the currency, right? Because these currencies are weapons, and the entire reason they exist is for manipulation of trade and commerce and the abundance that we create. The work that we create in fiat currency gets debased. It's a weapon. And so if it's not yield curve control, it is certainly rate manipulation, but that's par for the course with fiat currency. Like if you were to lend money to someone who's broke and doesn't earn any money and spends more money than they have, how much interest rate would you give? Like, what would you want from that person? It's not 5%, is it? Now they can print the money to pay you back, so you get paper back, but it's worthless. So is it yield curve control? No, but it's currency manipulation. It's fiat currency manipulation. But that's why that's the design of that thing. So that's why we can't save in it. You're telling me that running $2 trillion deficits, introducing new taxes on goods and starting a fresh war in the Middle East has not been effective at getting the cost of living down. The cost of living will never go down because the point of the fiat is to buy bombs, right? Be aggressive, fund the military, and you tax people back after that just to reduce the inflationary aspect, but you're still printing the deficit. Well, of course you are, because the money doesn't exist for you to spend. So you spend it, the inflation happens, everyone that had that currency is getting wrecked. Now, who are the owners of the currency? Well, a lot of other countries, right? So the other countries that hold your currency are also getting wrecked when they hold it, which is why China doesn't want to hold that anymore. They don't want to get wrecked, right? They just go into gold. So we know how the system is designed, and that's why we're into Bitcoin. Just get out of that system. But stock indexes, anything else. The thing with Bitcoin is you can buy $10, $15, $100 of it. House is a little bit more difficult, right? So pristine digital currency, digital asset, digital money that you can buy $100 of, it's desirable, along with broad stock indexes, etc. But digital money, the idea has won. We just need to wait and be patient for the real money to come in from the pension funds and the annuities and everyone else. It will happen. We're at the 200-week moving average, so we don't have to worry too much about the price and any FUD. The price is already low in relation to the trend. If you trade, click Bybit in the description, make a deposit. They'll give you a deposit bonus to trade with. I'm James, it's Money ZG. Cheers for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.